The year is 2014, and I'm obsessed with sports manga. You have Eyeshield 21 and Hajime no Ippo, two of my favorite shonen ever written. But how does a man decide which one to talk about? Well, he flips a coin. Heads, it's Ippo. Tails, it's Eyeshield 21. Alright. Aloha, Lohali signing in, and today we are talking about Hajime no Ippo. This whole topic was basically inspired by Rerun Ransom's question, what would you review 5 years ago in 2014? And I had to sit down and think, man, what would I review? What would I talk about? And Hajime no Ippo and Eyeshield 21 both popped into my head because they are prominent shonen series that I've been following for years, and I adore them. I love them, and there's so much that I can say. But I had to pick just one, and since it's all about Hajime the Hard Puncher, you know what's about to happen. So the story is all about Ippo, a young man who was bullied in high school because he smells like fish, his dad is dead, and he helps his mom run a fishery. Now, for those of you worried, there are going to be a ton of spoilers ahead, so skip to somewhere later on so you can get my actual opinion on this, but we're going to dive into the spoiler territory. While he's being bullied, a man named Takamura comes up and says, hey, I'ma basically save your rear. And he did. It turns out that Takamura is the Japanese champion for boxing. Insane, I know. It is ridiculous that this bully kid sees this great man, who kind of turns out to be a bit of a jerk. He's kind of weird. Alright, he's just weird. Takamura is weird as all get out. Anyway, Ippo then proceeds to faint, wakes up in the gym, and Takamura says, hey, you fainted, now get out. I did what I could. And Ippo says, man, but I want to thank you, but I also want to learn how you did this. Takamura says, hey, here's a heavy bag, just here's a terrible drawing of your bully's face, pop him in the face. Just throw a good solid punch, let it go. Let out all of your anger. And Ippo does this namby-pamby little punch. And Takamura's face, he's like, just hit the bag or get out. And Ippo says, but I don't know how to punch. I've never thrown a punch before in my life. So Takamura says, all right, shift your foot back, bring your hands up here, and when you come in, step in and twist. When Ippo does this motion, the heavy bag swings back with a force that is ridiculous. And that is the very first moment that we see that Ippo has this great strength, this great potential to be a world-class boxer. And that is what this manga is all about. It is about the journey of one kid trying to find the true meaning of strength. And that's what makes this story so good. We follow him from the very beginning. We follow him for over 1,200 chapters on this journey of strength, of power, of passion. You see him win, you see him lose, because he does lose. That's what makes him so real. He is not an invincible Superman. He is supposed to be an everyman. All that he has is a hard punch and tenacity. This series is mind-bogglingly, wow, I cannot speak, but it is entrancing, enthralling, and it is beautiful. I go back and try to reread all 1,200 chapters at least once a year. That is insanity. Do you know how long that takes? Though I do skip over a few sections because, God, I just really don't like one of the characters. Itagaki, he's a terrible character. I don't like him. I understand his need, but whatever. But this whole 1,200 chapters, every single fight that I go through, I forget how Ippo is going to win. You see him train. There's no montages really. You see him put in the work. And then you see him in the fight, and it is ridiculous. It is insane. It is over the top. It's inspiring. When you see this, you are completely and utterly blown away by how well the story is told through the emotions. And what takes it to another level is, while some of these moves are greatly exaggerated, George Morikawa, the mangaka behind the series, is actually a boxing coach and a second in the ring himself, which means that he understands how the moves are supposed to look. He understands training. He understands all the basics. So while they're exaggerated, they're still real. They're still grounded and down to earth. And this realism and this passion and drive that he has for the sport itself is really shown in his care for setting up the panels, for setting up the characters. And you know what, let's touch on the panels and the artwork really quick. I mean, it started in the 1980s, so the artwork wasn't brilliant. It was definitely a 1980s style, but it's grown and it's changed and it's adapted, and honestly, it is one of the most beautifully drawn series I've seen. It is tactile. The way that the frames move through the page and the characters move through the panels, it makes your eye follow. And honestly, I would put it up there with Akira Toriyama's ability to structure and design a page. That's how beautiful, for each impact, you really feel it strike across the page. You feel it connect with a person's face. If it's supposed to feel like it's a whip, it feels like that. If it's supposed to be a brick to the face, it is a brick to the face. It is violent, it is visceral. That's how these panels are meant to be. And he uses this to the full ability. George is amazing. George builds these panels around something even more important though. He builds it around the characters and not just the main characters. He develops side characters. He develops an inner beauty, an inner motivation for basically everybody. You don't step into that ring unless you have a will, a desire to gain something. And for our main character, Ippo, it's just learning what the definition of strength is, and that honestly resonated with me when I was younger. And it still resonates with me now. I want to know what it's like to be strong, to be powerful, and to really find that within myself. And I've been following along with Ippo in this path for 7-8 years. Like, I've been reading it for that long. It caused me to actually pick up and throw on a pair of boxing gloves, which I was terrible at, by the way. I just hit a heavy bag and I was the worst. I literally fractured, like right here, multiple times. It affects my grip to this day. But these characters are amazing. Let's take a look at, you know, Takamura, the second protagonist in this story. And you follow him in his way up the middleweights. You follow him up this journey to become the world champion in many, many different areas. And you see his drive and his passion. You see his anger. You see where he comes from as a character. In each fight, you begin to see a little bit more of his character revealed. So you're not just following the story for Ippo. You're not just following it for Takamura. You're not just following it for the coach. George Morikawa has written and designed a story where you care about basically each opponent. You care about each side character. You care about people that you didn't think you'd care about. Simply because this world is so expansive and so detailed and lovingly designed. Like I said, those panels are brilliant. They're written for brilliant characters. This manga means a lot to me, and it means a lot to a lot of people who have read it. If you get the chance to go through and really read it, chapter 1 all the way through chapter 12, whatever we're at now, 1256? 1252, I don't even know anymore. You will be enthralled the entire time. Each fight has a purpose. And while it's not perfect, every bout is not perfect, each punch that Ippo throws has a meaning. He's going through a journey. And you are on this adventure with him. And for a non-superpowered battle shonen, because that's what this is. This is a sports shonen. This is a battle shonen at its core. You'll become so emotionally invested with each arc, with each chapter, with each page, that I can guarantee that while it may seem daunting, you will want to pick it up and follow through, because that's what George has designed. He's designed a world where everybody can learn something and everybody can change. Now, I will do 100 videos on Hajime no Ippo because I feel like it deserves it. And I think you deserve to see more videos on it. So if you want those, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to do quick videos discussing more topics. But just know that when you pick up Hajime no Ippo, you're in for the fight of your life. As always, guys, thank you for watching and enjoying this with me. Don't forget to check down there, that's right, for last Monday's video along with an instant classic, something that I know you're going to enjoy. And for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, signing out.